Yo! What's up, everybody? Wednesday. All right, halfway to the weekend. Unless you're me. Got an extended weekend coming up. Gonna get out of town and go where the weather is a little bit nicer for a few days. Check out some live music. Anyway, how's everybody doing this morning? Are you awake? I stayed up too late last night. Like many, watching the news. Then about, 9:30, I was like, all right, I can't watch any more news. Yeah, at that point, it's like everything too close to call. I'm going to end up being up all night at this rate. Might as well just wait to wake up and see what happens. And then I did. There you go, everybody. Election complete. And now, hopefully, we can just move on to sunshine and rainbows. Ugh. Well, anyway, like I said, I'm very tired. Don't have a lot to say about election stuff. So yeah, we're gonna, just do what we do around here and do a normal show. Try to find some stupid stories to discuss and take it from there. But anyway, took a quick glance at my social media pages this morning. And, I just want to say to try to be nice to each other today, okay? No matter how the election would have gone, you would have had half the people in the country freaking out. So if we could come together and not be terrible to each other, that would be great. Because for far too long, years and years, country divided. People, just being awful to each other. Let's just try to keep it tame and civil, all right? Be nice to one another. No need to fight. Now we just move on. And I cannot wait for the news to get back to how it was prior to a few months ago. Make it a lot easier for me to find content to talk about on this show. I think today will probably be worse than yesterday as far as finding content, because I would imagine all the news is just going to be election related, which, Florida man get up to anything stupid last night? Anything like that? We'll see what I could find today, but, just everybody try to be good to each other. All right, that's what I'd like to see today. Because, man, Facebook has been a, just nightmarish place for a long time. It would be great to see people, somehow start to get along. That's a lot to hope for, ain't it? Okay. Anyway, I need something nice and heavy to wake me up. Stayed up too late, and I've got way too much on the plate that I need to get done today. Now, that's the only bad thing about taking a few days off when you're me. I got to deal with all of the work that would happen in those days I'll be gone. Morning. It's the Victor Wilt Show. And, wish it was Friday for all. I know it's not really fair since it kind of is my Friday. The problem is I need to get accomplishing things. It's tough. It's tough trying to get the job done. Anyway, okay, I'll stop complaining about having to work. But, man, my bed's sounding great right now. Sounding wonderful. Apparently, even the radio prep is listening to my phone. Because it was just the other day that I talked about, how I was going to clean my house, and instead I got distracted. And, it technically is cleaning to do decluttering and decide, I'm going to get rid of all this stuff that I don't need and move this and that around. Then this article pops up about, do you have too many of certain things? How about coffee cups? And that was one of the items that I took a big pile of over to the youth ranch, along with a bunch of other dishes that I'm like, oh, why do I have this? This is useless. This is just taking up cupboard space. Well, apparently that's a hot radio topic today. I don't know. I think they're just digging deep to find anything for people to talk about that isn't related to the election. So that's what I'm going to keep doing, trying to find stuff to talk about. I mean, decluttering your house. Hey, it'll make you feel pretty good. I was very happy to see all of that stuff go to the thrift store. You know, I mean, I didn't accomplish getting my floor swept and mopped because I was instead rooting through my cupboards, but ultimately it came out nice in the end because I turned a hutch cabinet into a bookshelf, and it looks more my style. So you never know. You might end up doing some redecorating that you're happy with just by getting rid of a bunch of junk you don't need. Throw out the trash, all right? I guess it wasn't trash. I did have to jump online and make sure some of these, I had these old, like, some kind of Norman Rockwell coffee cups that, you know, you never know if old stuff is worth money. You watch that Antiques Roadshow, and you're like, oh, this could be worth some bank. So I had these coffee cups that I'd, you know, been hanging on to forever. I think they were either my grandma's or my dad's. I don't know. I got them from somebody who passed away. Don't worry. It wasn't like they left them to me like, we really want Victor to have these cups. No, it was, you know, you go through somebody's stuff and you're like, oh, I guess I'll take them. But I Googled them up and was like, okay, yeah, if people are selling sets of these for like, you know, $10, okay, they can go. So if you're into that kind of thing, the Youth Ranch, they got a nice big pile of them. Something like 20 of them or something like that. Anyway, I guess at least my house is clean. I did eventually get around to sweeping and mopping, in case you care. Again, with the internet apparently just tapping into things I talk about. You know, I've talked about my book collection recently. We had a few different threads come up where people were talking about collectibles. And, you know, I've got some collectible books. And unless you're really versed in that world, you're not going to know what to do with them if you suddenly are, say, I don't know, given a collection. You know, I was reading this post online where somebody's parent had passed away and they had a collection of like 3,500 books. A lot of books. And this guy was an avid book collector, so there are some books in there worth some money. And the person posted in the book collecting subreddit, I don't know what to do. And it's funny because I've thought about this recently. You know, I think the older I get, the more paranoid I get that, you know, I'm going to get hit by a bus or something. So I've been, you know, arranging my file cabinet. You don't want your kids to, you know, come in and have to deal with your stuff and everything's out of whack. Nothing's in order. Difficult to figure out. And, you know, like my mom, she had everything she was all ready. You know, everything prepared and all filed and neatly arranged. So I need to still do one of those wills. I know you know, when you're in your 40s, you're like, I shouldn't be thinking about a will, but you probably should. So one of the things I started doing, and then I quickly stopped because I was like, oh, this is going to take forever, is I started making a spreadsheet of the, you know, valuable books in my collection with, you know, detailed descriptions and an estimated value. And then I was going to, you know, just write up a little thing for the kids like, okay, if you want to keep these, great. If you want to sell them, here's how you do it and make the most money. And this is the kind of thing, if you're a collector of some type of item you're going to pass on to your kids down the road, you need to make sure you leave them with a plan. Otherwise, they're just going to have a bunch of your stuff that chances are they're not going to value it like you do. So you need to have a plan for them so they can, you know, maximize the profit out of your collection, because there's a pretty good chance they're going to sell it. You know, you think it'd be cool if they hung on to some of it, but if they want to sell it, all right, great. You know, that's your inheritance, part of it or whatever. Here's some collectibles. Get to work. Time to open an online shop. So, yeah, I started making this spreadsheet, And I was like, oh, this is taking forever. Jeez. So I stopped. It'll be an ongoing project, but I have many other projects I probably need to do first. I think ultimately I can just leave them okay, here's how you figure out what this book is, and here's how you figure out how much it's worth, and here's how you sell it. Sorry, I started a spreadsheet, but I did not complete it. So anyway, I left this person a quick comment. Actually, it wasn't helpful. I just said, well, here's what I did. Like your dad failed. He should have done what I did. Sorry that he didn't leave you any information. $3,500 is a lot to deal with. It's too bad they're not closer. I'd be like, well, let me come scope your collection. These ain't worth anything. Yeah? Let me just take them off your hands and add it to the 10 billion shelves at my place. All right. Anyway, just giving you advice on what to do with your collectibles, people. Because I know what it's like to really be into something, and it's weird to think, chances are my kids ain't going to care about this stuff. So you want to make sure they're able to deal with it right. Have you ever got a new phone? That's probably a stupid question. Might have been the dumbest question I've ever asked on this program. Have you ever got a new phone? Well, I got a new phone activated yesterday. The first iPhone I've had in many, many years. And I finally just kicked my lemon of a Samsung to the curb. Well, sort of. I've still got it, actually here with me. Because, oh man, I did not realize how long it was going to take to try to set up all of the apps that I have on my phone on a new one. You got all these different logins, and the way Google does things makes it just a pain. Thankfully, I've still got the Samsung phone because, trying to log into my email on the phone. It's like, well, you need two-factor authentication. We're sending a message to your Samsung phone. What if I had traded it in? I wouldn't be able to get into my Gmail. And I have a feeling it's going to be that way with a whole bunch of different apps and such. Ugh. And I got no time to be monkeying with it because I got 10 million things to do here. And then, I'm taking a few days off. I guess I could make my buddy Nick drive. Be like, you need to drive so I can play with my phone. It sounds like a good idea. So anyway, I don't know if it would have been I don't recall it being this difficult when I got a new Samsung phone and switched from a Samsung, but every app, I have to go in and individually download it. You can't just click on it and go download. You have to go into the App Store, and then you have to get it. And then, it's just tedious. I know this is a major first world problem. Oh, woe is me. I got a new phone that seems to be working great. Oh, the humanity. What am I going to do? Well, I guess I'll just bit by bit put it together. Why am I whining about this? I don't know. Because that's what I got going on. All right? Geez. Cut me a little bit of slack here. Well, I enjoy trashing on other radio groups around the country. Namely, the worst one of the bunch, iHeartMedia. They are just scum. They are terrible. Terrible. And as we're heading into the holiday season, looks like they got their annual RIF kicked off. That would be a reduction in force. They do this every year, generally right around Thanksgiving or Christmas. But I see what they did this year. They knew if they did this literally in the days right before and on Election Day, not going to be a lot of buzz in the news about it. But massive layoffs, firing people who've been with the company for, 30 years, laying off shows left and right. It's just a sad business, and they're just so horrible. There's a morning show that moved to Salt Lake about a year ago, I think from Southern California. And, Peaches was familiar with these people. So they moved to Salt Lake, And yeah, within 12 months, you move across the country, we don't need you anymore. They'll just, put on an AI DJ or syndicate, some show from elsewhere. Who needs local programming, right? Who needs it? Very glad to work for the company I do. It's scary out there in the radio world, I've been asked by people many times, why don't you apply for so-and-so job? I'm like, well, it's for so-and-so company. I like job security. I'm not going to move to some other place with the chance that in a year they just fire me because, it's not like a lot of these shows were doing bad or anything. It's just all about the bottom line. Okay, where can we cut some costs? We could, lower the salaries of some of our CEOs that are raking in millions and millions, or just, get rid of some of these, small-time DJ people. Who cares if they're morning hosts in some of the biggest markets in the country? Man, get rid of them. Get rid of them. They got to go. Yeah, I would never work for that company. Never. They are horrible. They are trash. And that's all I got to say about that. Anyway, I just finally got around to looking at my email and was like, oh, geez. Wow. That's a bloodbath. Yikes. Good time to have a few days off ahead, I guess. Yeah. The news, if I could just find some stupid fun news, that would be great. It's a struggle, but I'll keep trying. If I have to whine about my first world problems to get through the show, I will. But there's got to be something stupid and fun happening out there. It's just got to be happening somewhere. So I'll keep digging. If you need political news, you got to tune into talk radio because, it's finally over. And now we just got to put up with a few days of social media mayhem. Then everything's going to calm down, right? People are going to quit fighting. Yeah, right. All right, what items around your house are spying on you? This is great. I mean, we all know about things like, the Echo devices and blah, 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 that, they're listening. Your phone. I mean, the phone, you keep that on you at all times, and it's always listening. So I guess at that point, who cares what's listening to you at home, right? I mean, if you got the phone with you, you're being surveilled. But there were a number of smart devices that I didn't think had any possibility of spying on you. Like certain air fryers, apparently not doing so well on the privacy score. Now, these are brands I've never heard of. Algastar, Xiaomi, Kasori. I don't know what these are. But why on earth would an air fryer have any type of a listening device or any ability to monitor anything whatsoever? It's an air fryer. What is it tracking? Do they have microphones built in? Or is it because it links up to your phone? Is that why? Yeah, the Xiaomi app linked to its air fryer connected to trackers from sites like Facebook and others. So somehow that app's tied into just everything else that's tracking us. This is ridiculous. You gotta worry about your air fryer? Give me a break. All right, some smart TVs, and it looks like all kinds of different brands. Okay. Because they required a postal code to set up? I mean, I know there are TVs, I think even my TV, you can set up voice activation and control it by talking to it, but I've never set that up. I mean, even your PlayStation controller. Kind of funny. I was sitting there playing probably Red Dead or something or other, and somehow realized that my microphone had been on for, I don't know, months. So anytime I'm sitting around playing Red Dead, which generally I'm sitting there in silence, the PlayStation remote control, the actual controller, just listening to everything I said. I think I started getting an echo or something. And I was like, why am I hearing myself? I guess that's just the day and age we're living in here. What do you do to improve your data privacy? Well, You can opt out of some data collection, as I did when I was setting up my new phone yesterday. Pretty much any time that it asks, can you, submit blah, blah, blah to us? No, you don't need to know about my usage. You can check your app permission. It might be a little bit time consuming, but go into your phone and, check the data permissions, deny as much access as possible. Or just read through that privacy notice. Yeah, because everybody does that. Holy cow. I was going to get myself an air fryer. What about that wonderful brand, Algastar? No, I think I'd get a bigger name brand air fryer if I was going to get around to getting one. But anyway, so I just saw a picture of a Totino's birthday cake on social media. Basically, you take 8 Totino's pizzas and you just stack them on top of each other. It's an 8-layer Totino's birthday cake. And I posted it on the K-Bear Facebook page and encouraged you to just make it for breakfast, because why wait for your birthday, right? For something like that. The reason I posted that was not only because, it's a pizza birthday cake and it's silly, but it's National Eating Healthy Day. So, nothing much healthier than a Totino's birthday cake. Who comes up with these things? But no, actually, before I posted that, I was going to mention that it was National Eating Healthy Day, but it's also National Nachos Day. Which one do you want to celebrate? Yeah. Yeah, we all know the proper answer to that question. Time to mow down some nachos. What other stupid holidays do we have today? National Stress Awareness Day. That's appropriate. That's appropriate for today, day after an election. Definitely got some stressed out folks out there. It's going to be okay, everybody. It's going to be okay. We've got every election, you've got half the people panicking, half celebrating. And I'm just going to tell you, it's going to be okay. All right? Get some nachos. Mow down said nachos. Nachos always make you feel better. Maybe if you pair them up with a Totino's birthday cake and just say, whatever, I ain't doing National Eating Healthy Day this year. It's all about the nachos. Then you bust out your saxophone and play that, because it's also National Saxophone Day. I know this is kind of a stock radio break, but I've been digging for freak news, and it's a tough one. Tough news day. Hoping by the end of my few days off, when I get back, news will be somewhat back to normal. And we've been dealing with election news for months and months. Florida man, just get back to business with doing stupid things, all right? We need stuff to talk about aside from National Nachos Day and Totino's birthday cakes. So wish me luck. We do have freak news coming up, and I'm going to do something. I'm going to find something no matter what it takes. Freak news powered by Grease Monkey, voted Idaho's best oil change. Here we go. I was looking at a list of the weirdest Halloween costumes from last week, and one of them was a woman dressed up as an Ozempic pen, the sexy Ozempic injector. You got to have a needle sticking out of the top of your head. This basically just looks like, some kind of a, I don't know, not like a nurse outfit, but similar, because she has a weird cap on her head. No, you got to have the needle sticking out the top of your head. Maybe it was too dangerous for the holiday. I didn't even dress up this year. Yeah. Maybe next year I got to find something very strange and see if I could get myself in the news. I need some press. I need people to start checking out my YouTube videos and stuff like that. Anyway, just thought that one was kind of weird. Yeah. All right, anyway, let's close that out here. Over in Switzerland, Swiss law does not mention the right of employees to go to the bathroom, so they have ruled that workers must clock out for bathroom breaks. I could think of some places where maybe they should implement that. Yeah, clocking out for bathroom breaks so that maybe, you don't have to wait and wait and wait to be able to use the one bathroom on this side of the building because somebody's camping in there for like a half hour. I'll never understand why people don't take care of business before they go to work. If every day part of your daily ritual when you get to work is to spend a half hour in the bathroom, that's a problem. Do your job is what I say. Do your job or clock out for that bathroom break. And maybe use the bathroom on the other end of the building, the inconvenient one. If you're going to camp in there, don't inconvenience everybody else. Use the bathroom that doesn't get as much usage. All right, I'll forward that one to Jade. I think this is a great idea, clocking out for bathroom breaks. Because some of us, Anyway, I guess we don't need to get into, bathroom habits. But anyway, what else is going on here? If you want to see the world's largest chicken-shaped building, got to go to the Philippines. It's a 15-room hotel at the Campus Tos. I don't know how you say that word. That's a long word. But it is the largest building in the shape of a chicken. I don't believe you can stay in the actual chicken, right? Or can you? I don't know. I mean, the resort looks kind of fun. They got water slides, pools, gigantic chicken. Interesting enough. I don't know a lot about the Philippines. I don't know if it's a great place to go on vacation, but a place I do know is great to go on vacation is the Oregon coast. And apparently, they have officially launched Exploding Whale Day. Now, if you're not familiar with the story, I think it was back in the 80s. A whale, a dead whale had washed up on the shore and they had to try to figure out a way to get rid of it. They thought it would be wise to try to use dynamite and blow it out to sea so that, birds and fish could just eat the exploded whale. And it didn't end well. It didn't end well. Large portions came crashing to the ground, smashing cars. And they did put up a memorial park, Exploding Whale Memorial Park, in memory of this event. But now they've made it into an actual holiday with a week-long celebration that happened last week. So, beginning of November, if you're looking for something fun to do, visit the Oregon coast. I don't believe that they have any explosions at the celebration. I don't even know what they do because OregonLive.com required me to pay $1 if I wanted to subscribe and read the whole story. And I did not want to pay $1. Every dollar counts, Anyway, there you go. Freak News, powered by Grease Monkey, voted Idaho's best oil change. Drive to the Oregon coast sounding pretty good, because this time of year, it's nicer on the coast than it is here. It's always gloomy and rainy and misty and really cool. But yeah, when you go there this time of year, it's like, all right, a break from the frigid, ice-covered tundra that's coming our way. I shouldn't complain because it's been pretty decent so far this winter season. And yes, in Idaho right now is winter season, even if it doesn't officially kick off till, December? People got some weird kinks and behaviors. I was just reading about a guy from Greece. He ended up getting a month in jail because he repeatedly snuck into his neighbors' homes so he could smell their shoes. Yeah. You hear about this guy, Peaches? Greek? Broke into his neighbors' houses over and over again so he could smell their shoes.
Another foot fetish guy?
I would assume. I mean, it doesn't say anything about him, asking his neighbors, hey, do you have, an online video account where you show off them feet? No, he's just a shoe sniffer.
There was that one guy that was hiding under cars at car washes just to target women that were wearing flip-flops so he could like stare at their feet. It's like, dude, there's websites for that. Please.
Yeah. Like free websites where you can look at all the feet you want.
Right.
Or you could just, go check out a Quentin Tarantino movie on Netflix.
Yeah.
There's always some feet in those.
No kidding.
But sniffing shoes, man, that's different than liking looking at feet, I'd think.
That's worse.
Dude, some shoes could smell terrible. I want to know which neighbor's shoes. Was he a high heel sniffer, or is it like the
New Balance?
The work belt, the work boots guy. Yeah, that guy who'd been out working in the coal mines. I want to smell them boots. Yeah. Anyway, he got a month in jail. I don't know if it was necessarily for the sniffing of the shoes, but I think for the breaking into people's houses in order to do so. Apparently it got started when a neighbor left his shoes outside to air out. And the guy, I guess he just saw him. And
he floated like when you see one of those cartoons where they smell like a pie at the windowsill.
Yeah, he's like, what is that? And then he saw the shoes, so he sniffs the shoes that are outside.
So the neighbor activated like some sort of weird guy.
Yeah, and then one thing leads to another. It's like, they say there's gateway drugs and things like that. The shoes outside, led to him becoming a burglar simply because he just couldn't get enough of that smell.
What was that explanation to the cops like? Oh, I just wanted to enter their house so I can smell their shoes.
Yeah, exactly that. He said he was embarrassed by his behavior. He was unable to explain it. He said, I'm sorry, I just can't help myself. I love smelling shoes. Have you ever picked up a shoe, Peaches, and just...
No.
Me either.
My parents had when my dad would take care of my basketball shoes, he would accidentally smell them and go, oh, like what's wrong with his feet?
What do you mean take care of your shoes? Like he'd wash them or something?
Yeah, like he would get like the, marks off of them.
Okay, my parents never did anything to take care of my shoes. What the heck, Mom?
My dad used to work at a shoe store, and...
so he's a shoe guy.
The best thing he would ever do...
He's a shoe sniffer.
The best thing...
Jeff Peach!
No, the best thing he would ever do is that he would... I think we talked about this previously. Like, if there was a customer that was snooty, him and his coworkers would fart in the box and close it real fast, and then hand them over to the customer, and then they open up and go, oh!
I wonder how long a fart smell in a shoe box remains. Because, if you're in your friend's car, and, you leave one behind, shut the doors real quick, it can torture him quite a while later. All right, don't be a shoe sniffer. Or, if you're into sniffing shoes, you could go to the thrift store, and there's all kinds of used shoes. But those are new shoes. I would assume, you want the smelly shoes with the feet smell. Ugh. Anyway, enjoy your breakfast, everybody. All right, apparently there are folks out there who are not happy with the name Fire Ants. Now, I think that's a perfectly appropriate name for those just hideous little creatures, fire ants. There are some horrible stories out there about fire ants. I used a clip from a Doug Stanhope comedy special on one of my band's albums about fire ants. It was pretty horrific. They want to call them spicy boys. Nah, that's too fun for fire ants, okay? Fire ants are vicious. They need a meaner name than spicy boys. Spicy boys is kind of funny, but they're saying it's taken far too long for this issue to be dragged into the public eye. So there's some type of a petition making the rounds to rename fire ants spicy boys. Did you ever see the documentary on Netflix about fire ants called Fire Ants 3D? I don't know if it's out there anymore. Netflix, for a while, when 3D TVs were kind of a popular thing, they had a whole bunch of 3D, pieces of programming, one of which was Fire Ants 3D. And my friend Nick and I, who we're going to be heading to a show here tomorrow, as a matter of fact, one night we decided to throw on Fire Ants 3D, but we didn't listen to the audio. We turned on some music, We actually turned on one of his own band's recordings and watched Fire Ants 3D with the 3D glasses while we listened to this song. Well, not song, full album. And it made me realize, you know how The Wizard of Oz, you can sync it up to Dark Side of the Moon and it's like, whoa, this works way too well. I'm pretty sure you could play music with just about anything, and you're going to find moments where you're like, whoa, that was weird. That perfectly synced up. Because I got to tell you, listening to Nick's album with Fire Ants 3D, there were tons of times where like, this just fits all too well. This is crazy. Fire Ants 3D was an awesome documentary. Would I have fired it up if it was called Spicy Boys 3D? I probably would have thought that was a different type of program. Jay Davis. Hey, don't remind me. Don't remind me. What are you doing? Stop that.
No, I
got
gotta do
work
what I
to
want.
do. Oh,
Don't
dude.
talk to the boss that way.
Oh, you should hear what I would say if the microphone wasn't on to the boss.
I have heard it.
Oh, yeah, you have. So we were talking about the differences in our social media algorithm. Can I have yours, please?
Mine's just full of dumb memes and like cool houses to look at.
Yeah, see, I get the cool houses sometimes, and I like those posts. All the rest of mine, though, it's all just politics. I'm like,
That's what you get for trying to be informed
yeah, next
on
go
your
around.
social media.
Next go
That's
around.
why I have two separate social accounts. One tied to my work, so that one gets all bombarded with garbage. But my personal one, never look at any of that stuff.
I'm thinking it's because my phone sits in this room, and we have all those political ads running during the election season.
That too.
And so your phone's listening, and it's like, oh, he loves talking about this particular topic. Let's have every post be about that.
He must enjoy that a lot.
He loves it. Yeah, the dumb house or crazy house posts are the best. Other than, you know, when you look at the dollar amount, usually you're like, that's disappointing.
Or it's real cheap, but it's in the middle of like
Pennsylvania.
the swamp or somewhere you don't want to go.
Dude, I've seen some awesome, like these crazy Victorian houses, mansions in Pennsylvania. They're like massive and it's all ornate woodwork inside.
Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky. You're like,
No wonder
why?
no one wants to buy that thing.
I know.
Kentucky.
yeah, and they're like, you know, half the house or half the price of a starter home here. Would you like to live in a mansion? Well, yeah. And then you look at where.
Comes with a
Man.
bunch of land and everything. It's a 5,000 square foot house with 40 acres, and it's
Yeah.
like 80 grand.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing what's out there in these horrible places like Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's out for sure. Why do all the cool places have to be so expensive? You know, like if the weather's nice year round, you can't afford it. Don't even look. You know, but now that's become here too.
Yeah.
You know,
You might as well go somewhere where you can't afford it and be warm then.
I mean,
Then I don't have to look at your dumb face.
but I couldn't afford it. It's the problem. You know, I don't want to live in my truck. I need the comforts of home. You know, a nice cozy bed.
Especially since you don't like the outdoors. So what's
Yeah.
the point of going somewhere warm when you never leave your front door?
Dude, it's real satisfying to sit inside with the air conditioning running when it's all hot outside. No, when it's about 70, I do go outside. If it's like 60 to 70,
Walking to the sidewalk and back does not count.
Jade, come on now. I go outside if I'm in the right place. Now this summer I didn't go
Looking
outside.
for your cat outside does not count.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
But I do blame the cat for why I didn't go anywhere this summer. You know, I had a little kitten to raise, Jade, and I couldn't
Can you just
go
lock that in
anywhere.
a room with a poop box and
No,
food?
that's mean. She's a baby. Can't just lock her up with the poop box.
a poop box?
Well, we got somebody calling. What do they want? They better be on
I want to
topic.
request a song.
Probably. K-Bear, you're live on the show. Who's this?
This is Jim.
Jim, what's up?
I heard you talking about Spicy Boys earlier, and I was, if I could recall in my memory once when I was in Tijuana, ain't he like the Mexican version of Chippendales?
You know, I don't know, but I did say, Jade, if you didn't hear this break, there's a campaign or a petition going around to rename Fire Ants Spicy
Yeah, I know.
Boys.
They should just stay as Fire Ants.
And I talked about the Fire Ants 3D documentary and how I probably wouldn't have turned it on if it was called Spicy Boys 3D.
No.
See?
That sounds
It
like
would just
either
be
a
on repeat, but that's why you wouldn't have to turn it on because it would just always be on.
It's either
Don't lie.
that's either Spicy Boys is either Mexican Chippendales or a Mexican boy band.
You know what? There might be a group out there called the Spicy Boys. I remember the Island Boys. You remember those
yeah.
weirdos?
Yeah, those guys are so stupid.
Well, good to hear from you, Jim. I hope you have a good one, man. Peace.
You too. Have a good one, guys.
Jade, in case you were wondering, there is a band called the Spice Boys. Here we go. Spicy Boys, demo number 16. Looks like they could use some followers, so I'm sorry you can't use that band name for your next project, Jade. Maybe you start that band in one of these, small towns. You buy a mansion, you have plenty of room for a big jam space, and you roll in, and we're the Spicy Boys. We're coming for you, Kansas. What do you think? You might be a big hit in a place like that. You think they're down with the Spicy Boys down south?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Isn't that where the Carolina Reaper was created?
Carolina Reaper.
Down south?
There you go. North or South Carolina, Spicy Boys. I could hit up Piper, ask her what she thinks. She's in Asheville. Think Spicy Boys would be a hit band there in Asheville?
Yeah. Definitely.
As I just searched endlessly for content, it was pretty much a failure today. Very difficult day to find just dumb things to talk about. I did find a post on Reddit where someone was asking if they were a jerk for asking their sister not to bring homemade food to their Thanksgiving dinner because they said her food is terrible. Said she likes experimenting with unusual ingredients and her previous dishes have not gone over well with the family. Like last year, she brought special recipe stuffing that was over-seasoned with random spices like cinnamon and cardamom. It was dry and the flavors were confusing and totally off for stuffing. Only one person took a small bite, the rest went untouched. Another year, she brought a green bean casserole that had a strange chewy texture, and she, had put a bunch of flour in it or something like that. So she's like, why don't you just bring some soda and stuff? And the sister got mad. You don't want to see food go to waste, right? I don't think it's that rude, but what if the sister, if she didn't eat her own food, then she can't say anything. But if she thought it was delicious, then I'm sure she'd feel a little bit bad at her cooking skills. I don't know. Jade has brought some of his family's Thanksgiving food in before. And I don't know how you screw up deviled eggs, all right? They are the easiest thing to make. The hardest part is boiling the eggs and peeling them. After that, it's a piece of cake. You chop the eggs in half, you take the yolks out, you mix them with a little bit of mayonnaise and mustard, maybe some pepper and salt. And then you sprinkle a little paprika on them after you put the egg mixture back into the egg. How do you screw up deviled eggs? Or stuffing, for that matter. I know Jade's brought in some stuffing, too, that I'm like, what is this? Like the mess I found for my cat the other day. Yeah, I don't know what I'd say here. I'm too nice. I think I'm too nice. I don't think I'd have it in me to tell my family member, please don't bring your terrible food. I just wouldn't eat it. I'm not a big fan of stuffing. But how can you turn down deviled eggs, huh? Well, when they taste like that, I guess. Well, anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I thought if I talked about Thanksgiving food, I might get hungry, but appetite, not quite there yet today. Oh, well, I'll just keep working. Who needs a lunch break, right? When you got work to do. I'll see you in a bit. Appreciate you listening to the show. As always, be a good human being today, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you again. Thank you again for tuning in to The Victor Welch Show. This program is a production of Riverbend Media Group. To contact the show or for more information, hit us up at riverbendmediagroup.com.